what I've decided to do for the next couple of months, perhaps, is go through all of the singles that I've released over the past year on various labels, on my own label and other labels, and break down the tracks that I've done and released that you can take ideas from and tips from, and look at how I've arranged things, look at the sounds I've used, look at the techniques I've employed, and look at the plugins I've used, etc., and the arrangement and so on, so that you can benefit from this by taking all these ideas or some of the ideas and adding them to your own tracks, or taking sounds that you might think, well, I've never ever used before, you know. So that's what we're going to do. And the first track is a track I released probably just under a year ago on the record label Slightly Transformed, which is a mate of mine. And that label was really popular in the new edits, new disco re-edit scene. And consequently, this album was a group collective with the track that mine featured on, went to #1 in the Juno Disco album chart. So it did really well during the month of February last year. So I thought I'd break down that track, give you an overall view of it, a walkthrough, and we'll split it into a couple of sessions because it's quite a lot to take in. And then you can take these tips for yourself. So let's get straight in. Let's dive in. So this is the track. I'm going to skip through it briefly, and then I'm going to play you, you know, and then I'm going to break it down for you what we've done. It's a new disco funky track. That's the gist of it. So you get that vibe. It's a funky new disco track. It's got a lot of, you know, positive sounds in there. It's uplifting. It's party time. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all of the tips and the tricks out of this track. It's all 100% original by me, by the way. So that you can take these and add them to your own productions, which is what we want. So first of all, let's have a run through the drums. Basically, I'm just going to run through this section of the track today, and then we'll go through the next time, because there's quite a lot to take on board. It's a track that's got a lot of stuff going off in it, so I don't want you to lose your minds doing this. So basically, a simple kick. It's called the kick ball. I don't know where I got this from, to be honest. I couldn't tell you. And then basically, what I've done is I've wanted to give it some, like, I didn't want to go straight in with the drums. So basically, it's nice to have a finger snap, which is that. And that comes from a drum kit within Ableton. It's the 64 pads dub techno kit. And it's got that nice finger snap in there with a load of reverb on it. It just works really nice. And a double click at the end. So it's got a double click at the end of that. So yeah, that's where I got with the finger snap. It's just nice to have a build up. But then it's got the tambourine, which is. I wanted it to be loose. I didn't want it to be too rigid. So you put the tambourine in there with the finger snap. It just works nice. And then basically we've got this electric piano, which is basically the M Mark II old EP piano on within Ableton. So if we just like, and the chords, they're very, very similar to "Rock with You" by Michael Jackson. Didn't mean to come out that way, but they just did. And let's have a look at the chords. So the first chord, if I open up the screen here, let's have a look what we've got. So the first chord is D, G, C, and what we've got. So we've got D, G. So it's basically C major with the D root. all it is. I've forgotten what it was. So, and then up to an E minor 7. So it goes, let's have a look at that again. That's it. And then it's an A major. That's cool. Right, okay, so yeah. With a B root. I've got it. So it's... Yeah, I got it, yeah. That's quite smart, actually. I never realised how I came up with those chords. But they're the chords anyway. So C major with a D, then an E minor 7, which is G, B, D, E. And then the next chord, you go down to the B on your left hand, and then just press A and C sharp. And back in. Really smooth chords there. So they were the chords of the track. They're the basis of it. And then it changes there. Dun, dun. So then that chord, then again, it still says the C and the D. Dun. And then it goes to a G, B, and a D, which is G major with an A root. Drops down to that, and then to the C, and hold on, sorry, that's not right. G, B flat. Oh, I've got it. So it's a G minor 7. There you go, look. So let's go. Is that right? Yeah. Gotcha. So they're the chords. So yeah, that's quite an interesting little arrangement. So basically, enough of that. Next up is the lead line. I've got this from the Monopoly. Okay. So the Monopoly is this. It's a premium synth, and it's got that nice sort of analog phase synth. And all I've done with that is modulated the sounds. Just using the pitch bend on the modulation wheel. So yeah, and stuck a load of delay on that. Just get some delay on it. If you look at the arrangement, there's loads of delay, loads of reverb. Took out a lot of bottom end here, look, because if I take that off and play that, it's dead muffled. Take down the bottom end, rise the top end, and you'll find that it comes through in the mix a lot more clearer. Next up then is the bass. So I've got this from the Freetown Noisemaker. You might, if you get the Town Noisemaker now, you'll have a different interface. This is the original version from years ago. I've just never upgraded it, but there's nothing new to change to anyway. But the sound in there is called the Juicy Bass, and that's there. And this is a proper squelchy res bass, like you know, an old school funk, 80s funk bass. And I've delayed that, put some delay on it, and just played stabs up. So if I was to do that and play it, you'll just see that it's a ba-da-ba-da, boom, ba-da, and I've left it for 4 bars. Ba-da-ba-da, boom, ba-da, ba-da-ba-da, and just snuck it in gently. I've done like an improvisation of bass. Drop it out. You know, give it breathing space. And that bit there where it gets all crazy is where I've done with the bass is, and all I've done there is gone down the keys. I've really played the chords fast, like that. And then on top of that, what you've also got in there, if you have a look at this, you've got a reverse crash, which helps, brings it up as that bass is going down. Your crash is rising up, you see. So it just helps. And then explodes, breaks away. And then basically the next thing that comes in is the muted guitar, which is from Ableton. This is built in. This is just the classic muted. Just simple one notes. Delay it. And then to bring in this is the bit where you track, your build up's gone. You're starting to lay the track out now that it's starting to kick in. So then what you need to do is have a section where the kicks drop out and your synth, which is your lead line, is playing down. If you look at the notes on that, and that's just the chord there. Look, it's just F, D, C, and A. So it'll be F and D like that, just like that. But I've recorded it in slow, so. And then if you turn the tempo back up, it plays faster. So I would have pressed solo on that, taken this down to about 90, put the metronome on and recorded it in slowly. Like that, and just slowed it down. And that would have been how I did that. And then the next part is where the hi-hats come in. So you got some hi-hats in there, just straightforward, just nice sort of sharp hats. Keep the finger snaps going. The build up of the rise of the lead line again. And that's where the bass will come in. The synth bass will continue to play a more melodic pattern based around the chord. Solo that bass. There we go. And that's what that does over the chords. It's exactly the same. It's the root notes of the chord. And that bit there, that little trill in there, that tiny little fill, is just basically going down the octave like this up. Just like that. That's it. And you can do that if you go down the keys dead quick. And the juicy bass is perfect for that. It just works. And it gives off that classic, you know, early 80s synth boogie sound. And then obviously the tambourines come back in. Then I've got some claps coming in. Delayed. And some congos. That congo is just a loop. Oh no, it's not. It's broken down actually. It's a load of soulful congos all put in there. That's one of my conga packs that I've made actually. So basically I will put in the drop down of this menu the link to that, and you can download this conga pack if you want it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, you can take that as well, so you can use that. So them congos are there, look. It's just a pattern I've made. And there's the drums. That's it. Put the bass on. Rhodes. And then the last thing, but final thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the strings. So I've done the strings. They've come from the String Ensemble Legato in Ableton's packs in here. And basically I've just exactly the same as the chords, but I've put the attack, turn the attack right up so that the string isn't aggressive, smoothly comes in. It's got a slow attack, obviously. It's too much, so you just turn it to about 260 and just smoothly enters. And it's exactly the same as the Rhodes. And there you go. So that's it really for this session. I hope you've taken loads from that. There's loads of stuff you can take from here. Grab the conga loops in the description, and also take from this what you can, you know, things like the arrangement of the beginning, you know, how you have an intro. Keeps the track interesting. It's got lots of different sections. And then you've got your muted guitar, your synth bass. Well, live bass, we'll come back to that section next time. But yeah, that's it. So take from that what you will. Take the chords, take the techniques, use all of the delays and the trills and things like that I've done. And see what you come up with and use these ideas for your own tracks. Don't forget to get the juicy bass as well, because that's good for your 80s sort of. Thank you guys. Any questions, just contact me, and do take as much information and useful advice from this as you can for your own tracks. Speak to you in a bit. Cheers guys.